That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us. Another beautiful steal perpetrated by Todd White. The action continues. A let's go situation here. Alexei Deacon going up against a double team. Jeffrey Moore has perfect access to the bucket. What you saw from that normal replay of that last bit of action was Juan Fernandez actually wanting to take off the against Master Jaworski. We're crossing the twilight zone. That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us.
It's been 2 years since we started the Pasig River Cleanup and Dredging Project. Before that, we were doing the Sulyahan River Cleanup Project in 2020. For Pasig River, Mr. Ang is allocating 2 billion pesos to clean up the river. We are pleased to report that so far for the past 2 years that we have been cleaning up, we have already removed about 1.3 million metric tons of silt and waste in both Pasig River and San Juan River. And we have already covered more than 22 kilometers of the 27 kilometers of Pasig River, and here more than 5.4 kilometers of San Juan River. So our focus was really more on the shallow areas of both the rivers.
Importante yung talaga dredging. Pero mo, 1 meter lang, ilalagyan mo tubig. Paano hindi aapaw dito sa lupain? Kaya yun ang isang problema. Tara, napakagaling ang San Miguel sa tulong para sa taong bayan. Last 2 years, medyo mababaw na lang. Walang gaanong problema.
Nung hindi pa nag-dredging dito ang San Miguel, binabaha dati. Pero ngayon wala naman. Hindi na masyadong mataas ang tubig. Wala na masyado kaming pangamba dito.
Ang mga ganda na collective efforts, we really can solve this problem. Kasi economically uplift the livelihoods of the poor and the rich. Para magpantay-pantay, ayos lahat para kaginhawa for everyone.
We're almost nearing the completion of the river cleanup here in Pasig River and San Juan River. We are targeting to finish by July or August of this year. Our aim to contribute to the community that San Miguel is able to help in the not only in terms of reducing river pollution, but also to increase the water holding capacity of the river so that we can mitigate flooding in the future.
Welcome to an eternity of basketball. We are part of the Globally Ballin Network. Catch us on the YouTube channel of Globally Ballin. Look at all the trending episodes, Bogs Adornado, all the way down to Chitoloy Saga. Which one's your favorite? Keep watching. Okay, original articles, video, and audio projects on globallyballin.com. Check out the website for all of that. And on Twitter as well. We are streaming there right now, so you can watch us there as well. Linktree/globallyballin is the link you need for all of those. Well, here we are. We made it to episode 200, guys. I'm Charlie Cuna together with Sid Ventura and Jay Mercado. Thanks for joining us this morning here in the Philippines. Out in Mexico, it's about 8 p.m. in the evening. So our guest, you all know him. He played for the RP team in the 80s, brought glory to our country with the rest of that NCC/San Miguel squad that competed in several tournaments abroad and also in the PBA, winning a championship, first and only amateur team to win a championship in the PBA by way of Roxdale, Texas, via Tucson, Arizona, and now in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. We bring him in now. Jeffrey Moore is with us on this episode 200. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
And we love the shirt, Filipinas, of course, because you did serve this country. You played crazy tournaments for us back in the 80s, which we were watching either on, sometimes it was via satellite, sometimes it was live on TV, and we would catch you and the guys, of course, Chip and Dennis, and the rest of the guys, Samboy, Alan, and all of them winning those tournaments. So, let's start from the start, Jeff. I know you right now you're into coaching and all of that, but we'll go to the start. We'll reverse. And how did you get started in basketball? Why did you choose basketball as your sport, being in the U.S., where there's so many other sports to play?
Well, in sports, in general, in the United States, we all play baseball, basketball, American football, and usually until we get into high school. And then we make a decision which sport we would like to play. But I had a bunch of older brothers. I'm the youngest of 8 kids, and all of them had to follow in their footsteps. So I've been playing basketball or any kind of sport all my life. So I had to learn to be tough. So they never gave me an inch. It doesn't matter if they were 3 years older. And I attribute a lot of this to them, pushing me and pushing me. But at one point in junior high school, I had a coach. He, Herb Buckner, he played with the Globetrotters. He was a very good player from Detroit. And he basically had me motivated to actually want to play, maybe as a career. He was very engaging. I consider myself similar to him, an ex-player, trying to help young kids, move forward and do what they have to do. He used to get out there and dunk on us as he was young enough. And I found myself doing the same, the kids love it. And from there, I went to Pueblo High School, where we won 2 state championships back to back. 77 and 78, we went 30-0, ranked number 4 in the nation. So we've been making history ever since we started. So we got started playing the game of basketball.
When you played in high school in Pueblo, so you were about maybe what, 15 years old? That's when you started playing basketball seriously and dedicated yourself to basketball. That's when you abandoned all those other sports.
I started focusing on just basketball. I saw myself, enjoying it. I thought it was the most complete sport, where you use your quickness, have a lot of breaks. And it just kept me busy every second out on the court. And I really think it's one of the top positions in the top complete sport that we have invented. So I'm excited.
Jeff, we're kind of losing you on the audio. Yeah, the audio's coming in and out. So I don't know if you can move closer or what to the mic, just so everyone can hear what you're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll work on that. But what I'm saying that I thought basketball was the most complete sport of all the sports, and motivated me. I was a young, energetic player. Baseball was my first love, which I was good at that. But in the summer, in Sun, Arizona, 120 degrees, it's pretty hard to be there with no movement going on besides the pitcher in the back. So I quickly developed a love for the game of basketball, and that's where we ended up.
Yeah. Jeff, did you have any early idols, basketball players like in the NBA that you looked up to or patterned your game after?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I always wanted to play. I would get excited watching Dr. J. That's when he was making his run in the ABA. And, as I grew, then, I was looking at young men 2 years older than me, Michael Jordan, of course. That's my generation. And I just enjoyed watching, NBA basketball games. But I always thought the college level was the best way to learn. NBA, they play when they want to play. Playoff time, it really gets exciting, and that's all sports and pros. But the college level is where you really, really learn how to play, because all coaches like myself, they push it to a limit and then beyond every day. So it prepares you to get to be a professional like you are. But it shouldn't stop there, as well as I do. When I played in the Philippines, I've given it my all. It didn't matter. Once I came to Mexico, it didn't matter. Went to Argentina, it didn't matter. I always played the game the way I thought it was meant to play, all out, and it allowed me to play. I was 47 years old, at the highest level here in Mexico because of that. And I'm still playing to this day. It was a sport that I put all my heart and soul into, and it's kept me healthy and in shape. And most people can't believe I can still dunk at 63. It's not
Wow.
it's not an alley-oop, but God has blessed me to be in great shape. Besides the time I had the COVID, which took me down pretty hard, but I'm now getting back to where I used to be.
That brings me to the question, Jeff. I thought you would have been a great track and field athlete. High jump, you would run pretty quickly as well. Did you dabble in track and field also back then?
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, the coach asked me to, but our contract was because I wasn't really interested in track again because you're sitting around waiting for this to go, and it's hot out there. So he just finally said, "Okay, if you want to come out, you only show up for me." So I ended up going out there. Didn't have a real technique, but like you say, I jumped very high. So I was winning, and I jumped 6'9" with 2'5", something like that in high school, and I did that with a broken wrist with a cast on. So, so I'm a freak of nature, an athlete, and I really, truly thank God for blessing me to be not only the physical, but I really think I see the world in a different way, and I teach it in a different way. Similar to the way Ron Jacobs used to do it. And Ron was my final straw. He taught me the rest of what I needed to know. Unfortunately, most players don't have a chance to have a mentor from start to finish. I was with Ron Jacobs from El Camino Junior College when I'm 19 years old until 28 in the Philippines. So I went with him from El Camino very much, and I transferred to the University of Hawaii for 6 months until he got that job in the Philippines. And of course, I was going, and that I had so much confidence in, and he discovered me, and we had a beautiful career all throughout.
Right. That was great. Yeah.
Jeff,
Go ahead, Jay.
since you mentioned physical, when you decided to embark on a basketball career in high school, how tall were you that time already?
Not much taller than what I am now, but I played center.
But you played
That's why. So it helped me in the long run. I mean, that's why NBA, it would have been hard to get in. I had the physical ability. I would have had to be a quick learner at the 1, 2, and 3 position, which I would have. But it helped me in the long run. That's why it didn't matter in the world games. David Robinson is guarding me. I had a jump hook. He couldn't block. I had quick feet. And I could defend the bigs. If you watch the Italian game, Dennis laughed about that. I'm like, Dennis, why do I have the 7'2" guy and you got the 6'9" guy? But I think
Because Dennis likes it easier, man. That's why.
No, Dennis doesn't back down from a challenge, and neither did I. But I some kind of strategy from Ron Jacobs, that's what I'm saying. It's not just out there playing pickup games. It's really structuring and having a plan. And that's what I learned from him. And that's how I coach today, and I've had incredible success because I read people well. And I put you in a position that's comfortable for you, but also fits in with what everybody else is doing. We get it right. We work hard, and that deters a lot of young players. But that's the only way to reach your potential. And only God knows how far that would take you. If you're good enough and you work hard enough, you could be in the NBA, you could be on a national team, and you could be overseas somewhere. And I I was truly that guy. I was a coach's dream. You know, whatever he asked me to do, it and didn't question it and did it as I can, you know, and I think that's what made me the player, the complete player that I was. You know, in the Philippines, I blocked shots, I got steals, I scored points. The points came easy. I played the hardest guy on the other team. I could go from position, the three, and I was telling somebody the other day, when I reflect back on pressure games, and Jake would give me the ball, and I never was great with the left hand. Seriously, most people didn't know that. I didn't learn how to use my left hand until I was well into. No, seriously, and I kept working on it, and it became my strong hand. That's a lesson learned, that you can work on something, and it became my strong hand. And just automatically, when the pressure hit me, I go to the left and control it that way. But that's hard work and dedication to put in the work. So.
Right, and that's what it's all about. And since we're going down memory lane anyway, I think it's time we enter our first segment, Jeff, on the show. We'll just go down memory lane, look at some photos of you. It's called the Time Capsule. And the Time Capsule is brought to us by Fitbit. It helps everyone in the world get healthier, from counting your steps to giving personalized insights on your heart rate and sleep patterns, log your exercise, and access great tools and content on the Fitbit Premium, all on the Fitbit platform. Check out their line of products on Fitbit.com. Feel the power. Let's go. You mentioned El Camino, and there you are.
Oh my!
On El Camino. Right? There's your squad. You got the Fro. You got the Dr. J Fro there, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, everybody did. That was a Dr. J, you know. No, that was a weird team right there. But like I said, not a lot of superstars. Ron Jacobs could bring the best out of people that couldn't do much, you know what I mean? He knew how to put a team together. And as you keep popping up these pictures, and it'll start to realize, even in the Philippines, we didn't have the best players in that country, you know, but he worked, and that's why I'm such a valid fan of teamwork. You know, one team, one dream, and we can put it together and make things happen.
That's right. So at this stage, El Camino, you know, you're playing for these guys, as you said. You were a center on this team, because you got number 54, 52. They're all taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
But you were the center?
Forward. I was a small forward. You know, that can switch on a big or whatever, and switch on a guard if I had to, because I was quick enough. That team right there wasn't any superstars. I was the first. That's junior college team. So junior college is for local athletes only. So I was the first out-of-state player to play on that team. Everybody there was born in California, you know. Like me being here in the Philippines, you know, I got my residency per se in California to be able to play on that team as Californian. So that was another tribute. Like I say, I made a first in a lot of things I did in my career.
Mm-hmm. And how did you end up after this when you were El Camino? How do you end up in an NCAA Division I program like Loyola Marymount? How do you make that transition?
Like I told you, I was getting recruited. That was my first year, and El Camino is a 2-year college. You know, but I knew I was good enough. I could have. I had offers going directly out of high school, but I wanted to go and get my grades up so I can get to a better school. You know, Arizona State, they were fighting with Ron. One of the coaches, you know him, Paul Howard, assistant coach over there at Arizona State, and a good friend, to find out who was the best player, me or Lafayette Lever, because Lafayette Lever played on my high school team, and he ends up going to Arizona State and then to the NBA. But that was the whole deal, that we just had to figure out a way for me to be able to play there, and I did, and it was just a bunch of simple guys, you know, and that's the first start of seeing Ron Jacobs do his magic, and like he was doing much, because he's not a yeller, you know, he talks to you. he gets good people around him, you know, a defensive coordinator where he's the yeller, he's the one you hate. And you know, he set up an offense surrounded about by, you know, the best players, but everybody had a role to do even back then. And we did it well. And we won the conference championship that year at El Camino, which was amazing. And then I moved on to Loyola Marymount with him. He took the job there, and there they are. When we arrived there, we were 5-21, and we flipped it in. We flipped it in 1 year to 25 and 5. You know, won the conference championship, first time ever. Loyola Marymount made it to the NCAA tournament, the round of 64. I mean, another hit. Ordeal all in 1 year. You know, a lot of those guys are junior college transfers. And that's where, after that season, that's when I met Dennis Tico. Ron Jacobs had found out about him. Dennis was at South Alabama. Happy, you know, from what I hear, what he tells me. There's more to it, but yeah, he was unhappy. And so we recruited him, and he comes in for a recruiting trip. So Ron Jacobs told me, you know, take a good look at him, you know, tell him what you think of him on and off the court, you know. Is it too much for me to handle, or, you know, do we want him? So me and Dennis hung out, you know, for that weekend. Of course, Dennis had a lot of experience, so he was coming out of high school, you know, one of the top athletes, basketball players in the country. You know, everybody wanted Dennis Steele. So he was cocky, and me and him, you know, met each other, and thinking he's gonna just take the money and run. So we had a great relationship, and then once we got on the court, he put us up against, you know, 2 other guys, and it was just magic, you know, a slasher, you know, a guy that can do a lot of things, and a real power center. He was the first real Dennis Rodman. We didn't lift weights in that time like they do now. Dennis was a solid guy, and he was the first guy I ever seen get his dunk pins against the backboard and pull it down and dunk it backwards on you. You know, and that was part of his plan. You know, he put it up there so you could block it, but he was strong enough to bring it down and dunk it backwards, and that was impressive. So we played well together. You know, Neil alley-oop, and I do my thing, so, you know, he appreciates that. Good talent, hard character, you know, we see it in one another, and that's how we became friends.
Yeah, Jeff, what was it like, the transition from playing at a junior college to, you know, NCAA Division One at Loyola Marymount? You know, the level of competition that you went up week in and week out. Were you able to adjust to it right away?
I was, because I was a Division One guy coming out of high school. Like I said, 30-0, 4 in the nation. But like I said, I had to go to a place where I could get my grades up. I didn't want to go to a 4-year school and struggle, you know. So my decision, and I'm coming out of Tucson, Arizona. It wasn't my game. It was just my confidence, you know. Tucson, Arizona is not a big known hub for throwing out NBA players or big-time college players, you know. So, you know, I didn't have the confidence to play against guys from Vegas, North Carolina, you know, Duke and all of that. Back then, it was Las Vegas, New Mexico. They were at the top of the line, UCLA, USC. And so I just wanted to go, and my whole plan was to stay 1 year, give me some confidence, get away from Tucson in the big city. And it just happened to work that way. Get my confidence up. I'm a shy guy, you know. Like I said, coach's dream. I did what you asked me to do. I didn't even do more. And see, Ron Jacobs, he just blew me the whole way. He actually had to tell me, Jeff, I need you to take more shots. You know, most players, you got to say, yo, don't shoot so much, pass to somebody else. But I was such a team player, you know, just from the get-go. And he brought the best out of me, you know, taught me what I really could be, you know. Don't settle for less, you know. You can do this, take your shot, you know, taught me how to be smart, make the right decisions. And so it wasn't a hard transition. It was just learning all the little details that makes a superstar.
Jeff, that 20-game turnaround for LMU, how did the community react? Did you become an instant superstar in campus?
You know, I've been gradual doing because I do things that most people wouldn't even notice. You know, my hustle, I get a tip on a loose ball in a clutch moment, you know, and it tips off the other guy because I barely got it. He couldn't get it. And we get the ball, you know, most people wouldn't notice that, you know, or just being in the right place for help to make travel or think twice or get a block. So it was always there, but it wasn't highlighted until it started taking over as a scorer. And like I say, I was always a defensive stopper, even in high school. Defense, rebound. In high school, I didn't shoot past 15 feet, you know, because I was playing center. That was my role, you know. So Loyola, I started shooting out a little further, you know, by the years. And that's just pretty much how it went. So, but it was just a process that came along gradually. I like I say, because I never considered myself as a superstar. So others would probably look at me as being that guy because if you notice, each game I through, I started out at a certain average, you know, going in, points, rebounds. But I got better as the season went on, and it showed in everywhere I've been, you know, because I got more confidence, more aware of what I'm doing. And by the time playoffs come around, then I am the man because I done learned through the whole process. I'm confident, I know my teammates, and that's a special skill set. Everybody doesn't have that. You know, to be aware of your teammates' needs and their weak points, you know, and helping them and giving them the ball when I know they can put it down, not before and not after, you know. So I think I was always meant to be a coach, and I was just coaching on the court through doing what I do as a player.
Hey, Jeff, I'm sure everybody's curious. Obviously, when you talk about Jeff Moore, then it's still always connected to Ron Jacobs.
Yeah.
Do you know you're at LMU and all of a sudden Ron Jacobs is contacted by somebody in the Philippines offering him a job? Do you know that story? I mean, did he tell you how it happened? Because obviously he recruited you to come along with him, but would you know what happened? How did Ron get his gig here in the Philippines?
Might be another story. You know, you told me some of it. You might know some I don't know. But
What's your version?
The way you asking the question is like, yeah, you know some I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was basically that because I was in Hawaii, me and the other guy, Rob Word, in number 44, was another little player, and he was with us the first year down there in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. So I'm Hawaii, you know, ready to finish my career there, you know, redshirted, not even playing.
We lost him.
We lost you. We lost your audio, Jeff. We lost your audio. Hi, Jeff. We can't hear you.
Phone call.
There you go.
But,
There's a phone call. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's the deal. Okay, we can hear you now.
We can hear you now.
Oh, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have one of our fans is asking, did he get 30 rebounds in a game? Yes, he did.
He did.
right? That's Buboy Sarte. Thanks for watching.
That's right. He mentioned
Yeah.
something about number 44. That's Bob Worthy.
Yeah, Robert Worthy.
That's
Robert
right.
Worthy.
One of the first
Who was on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So naging Pinoy din yan.
Hindi yata natuloy.
Hindi ba natuloy? Ano pa lang, recruit pa lang, ano? He
Kasama
could have been a
na-
Filipino.
I think it was included in the Jones Cup, in the 1981 Jones Cup team.
That controversial Jones Cup team, no, that not too many cheered for because
That's right.
there were only 2 actual Filipinos on that squad, right?
And 2 Phil Ams also, and 8 Americans.
Yeah, so the two Filipinos were Frankie and JV, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
JV Yango, Frankie Lim, and then the 2 Philams were Willie Pearson and Ricardo Brown.
Yeah, that's correct also.
And then the rest, yun na nga, si Jeff Moore, hindi pa naturalized noon. Tapos yan si Robert Worthy, Steve
and Joe Chavez.
Lingerfelter, di ba? Yeah, I think he's back. Let's bring him back in. Is he there? Is he there? We're looking for the... Oh, okay, let's go. There you are, Jeff.
Yeah, we're back. There's no technology, man.
So where were we about that story?
Okay, where were we on that story? You're asking me what now?
About Coach Ron, how you guys ended up here.
Mhm.
So you were in Hawaii and then he called you.
Yeah, I was in Hawaii, 6 months. I mean, he called me at probably a month into my school season. And I really wasn't feeling Hawaii. I could say it was beautiful. I would have did well there. I mean, they were all excited about it because I was the best player coming in, their seniors couldn't do anything with me. So I get this call from Ron, and he gave me all the options, because he's worried about my well-being. He said, if you want to stay, I understand. This is an opportunity, and it's a new project. He said, if it doesn't work out, then you go back to college and in AIA under the radar, and still get to where you want to go by doing that. The longer I thought about it, I talked to my mom. She wasn't really into it, but she understood. Financially, it would help everybody if I had to go to the So the thing is, we decided to go to the Philippines, and then I heard Dennis was going. So, it was a no-brainer. So we ended up making our way there, and there we ended up, and then you remember the first year, that's it. We had 12 Americans out there named Filipinos, and a few extras, Ricardo Brown was already a Filipino American, Willie Pearson. They brought in Eddie Chavez, and the rest of us were straight Americans. The future in the pros, we wanted to stay and try out for these different leagues and stuff. So that was the first opportunity. Got a chance to meet the big boss who being Toronto.
Jeff, let me just cut you off there. There's a sound coming from behind. I don't know if that's the fan or something. I don't know, but there's a sound coming in and it's overpowering your voice a bit. So
there's a parade going by the house.
There's a parade. Okay, that's why this.
We're in Mexico.
Okay. Yeah, because you're in Mexico. Okay, there's a fiesta going on.
Oh yeah, the Day of the Dead or the Virgin Mary or something. So they just walking up. You know how it is. It's 12 days. So I can't even do it about that. It wouldn't matter where I went. You're gonna hear that.
Okay. Go ahead. So as long as it's clear. Yeah. So these are the guys.
It's gonna get loud in a minute again. So what's up?
Okay, so you were talking about these guys. I see Dennis over there. Of course, some of the local guys, Itoy Esguerra, Frankie Lim. You got Joel Banal and some of these other guys. But this was your first squad. Ron Jacobs is on the right. You have Pilo Pumaren. Of course, you know him, the dad of France. And then, who are these two Who's that American gentleman beside JB Ango? The guy with the blue stripes.
Ben
One was Bruce Willis. I mean, I think of his name was Bruce Willis. He was from. He came in with Ben Lindsay, the assistant coach. There's three of them that came in with Ben, and they were trying out. You know, a lot of them thought they were going to take Dennis and I's job. And I know you guys need to take a.
Yeah, it's too much noise now.
Ben Lindsay.
We gotta let that go by.
The break.
Yeah. You gotta mute that for a bit.
It will pass.
Yeah, that's gonna go by soon. Of course, Eddie Joe Chavez is the guy beside Ricardo Brown. Everybody knows that Joe. Of course, boss that thing in the middle.
Like the Ding Kuangko or Henry Kuangko. Oh no, that's Ding.
That's the thing. This is the first time that our show is getting stopped, not because of a technical difficulty, but because of a fiesta. There's a procession going on. And they've got trumpets and whatever that's going on there. So
hopefully it'll pass pretty soon.
Yeah, they're celebrating. They're celebrating because we have our 200th episode today.
Yeah. You're celebrating.
Give you a good look at what's going on out there. The parade of people following them, and they're just going down there, locked up all the streets. So yeah. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
We can.
We can.
Get it in as fast as we can. But that was Ben Lindsay, and he brought a few guys from with him to be that part of the national team. Because the older I got, it was quite ingenious what Polanco did. You know, with bringing in 12 Americans, he knew that wouldn't fly. He knew that they weren't going to go for it, even though it was legal by presidential decree. It's legal, but do you want to do that? You know what I mean? So he knew they were going to end up giving you some. And so they ended up giving us three. And it happened to be Dennis, myself, and Chip England. And that's all needed to really put basketball back on the map for the Philippines. And I just thought that was ingenious that, they were going to give us something, because if not, he could have continued with the 12 and been within his rights to do so.
Jeff, Danding brought in both Ben Lindsay and Ron Jacobs together. What roles did the two play when it came to to that particular team in the Jones Cup?
No, it was Ron Jacobs' team. Ron brought in Ben Lindsay, testing him. The NAIA coach, and he had some. They had one NAIA, and the team was from Arizona, and so he had 2 or 3 national championships of junior colleges. And I don't know how long Ron knew him or didn't know him, but he comes in. He's supposed to be the enforcer. Of course, him and Dennis didn't hit off at all. Dennis was knocking out every practice, but it didn't last long. His personality wasn't what we needed. What the Filipinos, they didn't like him either. He was too much of a military guy with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. I don't know what that chip was, but his personality, he didn't have one, and that's a hard one. When, like I say, really no personality, you couldn't get a joke, or you couldn't tell a joke. You know what I'm saying? You just that there. And that's what I saw in him, and I wasn't going to listen to him. Yeah, Jake's my man. I go straight to Jake if I had a problem. I don't know that this guy try and have me doing stuff that I know I shouldn't be doing, when I can just go straight to the source. because he wasn't the head coach, and I think he didn't like that. You know, that's me playing my defense.
Yep. You're playing defense against one of the best players, the PBA at the time. That's Philip Cesar from Crispa.
Yeah.
That's why, like I said, we learned so much because when we went there as amateurs, these were the veterans, the new generation, the old generation, and we really learned how to play the game as men. I give it a second.
Yeah. They're passing again. That parade's getting noisy again.
Long parade.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's winding down. But Jeff, I just want to ask you, what was your initial impression on the Filipino brand of basketball when you first came over and you saw your teammates, your local teammates, and then when you started playing against other teams?
First part I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I asked you, what was your initial impression on the Filipino brand of basketball when you first came over?
My first impression was, why am I always landing on the ground on the back of my head? You know? And it wasn't a foul. I was like, whoa, man, this is a different basketball game. You know, we were kids, like I say, 19, 20 years old. These guys were 25, 27. Some of them would even look like they were 40. But they're killing us, you know. They slower and didn't jump as high, but we could, you know, they knew how to play the game. It was a very aggressive game, which allowed me, like I say, I never backed down from a challenge. But it made me better. Like I say, anything that I survive makes me stronger. So it made me better for any league in the world that I went to. It was easy. You know, I was used to that. And I was on the other country, and I was the one that was too aggressive to the other people. But yeah, they taught you how to be a man. I always said that it was a man's game, and at that time, the second only professional basketball league in the world.
Yeah,
you know, and it was called that. You know, so yeah, they were two professionals, and every night out, it was a challenge, you know. They could shoot well. Like I said, they played the game really well. For them not to be noticed, you know, in some other parts of the world, they just hadn't, like I said, you couldn't get past China. So you can be seen. And, you know, you didn't have any internet. You didn't have any, anything. You can just videotape it and send it to CNN. You know, you had to actually go and watch that kid in person, you know, and go to some payphone and put a quarter in and make the call, you know. So that hurt us as far as any American that left the United States at that point was taking a risk. Because if you left, they might forget about you, you know. But me and Dennis decided to leave, you know. To the national team, you know, we loved the game. And we always believed in who we were, believed in Ron Jacobs. So if we had any chance of making it to the World Games or the Olympics, then, you know, we knew if we had a shot, as long as we were healthy and had a decent team, the two of us could get it done, and that's exactly what happened.
Now, Jeff, I'm guessing this photo was taken from 1981 because judging from the uniform of Crispa and your uniform, it says training team. No, but you went up against both Crispa and Toyota. Who impressed you more? Which team impressed you more?
Crispa, yeah, so they were the big guns at the time, but the style of play was two different ones.
Okay.
Crispa was different than Toyota at that time. I don't know. The Americans they had, I remember Toyota being more of a finesse team, you know, with the bigs they had. You know, I think, and Krista more of warriors, you know, a little bit more physical, even though both teams had physical. But somehow it sticks in my mind that Toyota was a little bit better overall, you know. But they both had great Americans on their team. Allowed us to perfect what an international league would look like, you know. So, you know, 81, when we didn't know if we were coming back in 82, you know, everybody left and they called me back. I was the only one to come back in 82 until they figured out what they were going to do with the live citizen and everything else. So I stayed with Ron Jacobs in his home together, and I played 5 exhibitions at LaSalle, you know, the university team, the whole year. So I went the PBA. A lot of those guys became my friends. They would come over to the house, you know, and we would hang out, go to the club, you know, because I had to find something to keep me busy. You know, I wasn't playing, I was just there. And so that was the deal with that. I was wondering if you guys remember any of these. What's that?
What is that?
That's the gold medal.
That's a gold medal, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
One of your medals. Which one is that?
That's the one, the second, what is it? The championship in the second World Cup championship. That was the World Cup championship, you know, that they gave to all participants. Right there. So,
World Interclub.
World Interclub, yeah, the Interclub.
85, right?
yeah. This is what we got as dollars for making it to the Olympics.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
That's when what's his name? Michael
Keon.
Michael
Yeah.
Keon,
Yeah, he was the president. That's him on the back of it.
Uh-huh. You kept some of those stuff. Huh? So your career just takes off. You're here in the Philippines. You came back. What's this? Which one is that one? This was the.
And I think Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
85, 88.
ABC. That's the ABC tournament. Asian basketball.
So yeah, I kept a few things because I traveled so much. I lost a lot, but that's just part of the makeup when you're bouncing around and you know packing fast and leaving stuff and you know I left half of my life in the Philippines. All my clothes because we thought we were coming back. Left my dog. I didn't take all my stuff. I just took some of it. And never got that back, you know. I had the people in the apartment, friends that we knew, take care of them. But then one thing led to another, and like I say, a half a life was still there in that apartment.
Yeah, because you guys basically had to leave right away. Never thought you know, never got a chance to come back. But in between that, you know, from the time you came, which you told us about with Ron Jacobs, till the time that you guys left, so much happened in between. You played in the PBA. You won the tournament in the PBA despite being an amateur team. You played in all these tournaments, and we were watching you on TV. What would be your fondest memories, Jeff? I mean, you know, who are the guys that you remember that you played with, played against, that made an impression on you?
I mean, there's so many. I mean, and it's been so long ago. This photo right here. You know, me and Dennis was at our happiest moment in our lives. Like all of us, even the ones in the bottom, France and Hector and everybody. Like I said, we were young kids, you know, new experience for all of us. But for Dennis and myself being from the United States, you know, every day, everything that happened was a challenge, you know. The jokes that the Filipinos would say, you know, just walking down the street. And we're just taking it all in, but we're feeling great about us being there because the Filipinos really showed a lot of hospitality to us, you know. We used to go to people's houses that worked for us, or just we met on the street, you know, and they were poor people, but they would offer us anything they had, shirt off their backs, you know, and that's one thing I really remember, just how kind the Filipino people were to us during those times. The bottom picture, I remember that was in the hotel, and you know, it might have been after a win, and we might have been getting ready to go out somewhere. And that's a group picture. You know, that's what I'm saying. We were all tight at times. It wasn't all the time we were tight. You know, me and Dennis and, you know, Willie might run off and go do our thing. But yeah, that picture right there tells the story that we were happy, winning, growing together, doing the things that we really needed to do to achieve our mission. Because our mission was, and it was clear, you know, to bring back prestige to Filipino basketball. You know, we all knew that. And so that's why we all held each other accountable for what we did or didn't do on the court or off the court, as a matter of fact. And we were accomplishing those things. So we were at a moment in our career where we had already jumped some hurdles and got through those, you know, some tough moments and teams we had played. So we were confident in what we had, and we knew if we just stuck together as a team, some would come in, others would go. You know, I don't think Alan Kaide was with us on that one. But yeah, it might be one here, one there, but wasn't a lot of different changes. Chip even wasn't with us at that point as well. And but we got all the pieces we needed to be prepared for, like I said, the Williams Jones Cup at the right time. You know, the World Games, the ABC, and Chip. You know, to win those three events in the same year is impressive, you know, for anybody. Alone for a first-year Filipino team, really making a stand on the world market, you know, on the world stage, and having, you know, like I say, Italy and France and Canada, you know, scared of us, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, worried about us because they do. Yeah, they sit up in the stands, you know, and they watching us beating teams they just beat, and we beat them by, you know, 15 points more than them, you know, handily. And so they didn't know what to expect. About that. Dennis is not a true center. Dennis is only 6'7", you know, at that. I'm 6', you know, lift me at 6'8" at times, but I'm 6'3", you know, with the shoes maybe 6'4". Then it's maybe 6'8", and we're going up against 7-footers, you know, and at my side, the Americans and the William Jones Cup, you know, Hector's guarding him, and he's as tall as I am, you know, so we outman from point guard to the center, and they couldn't figure out what to do.
Yeah, but look at you, you're jumping at center. Yep. Look at that photo on the right side. You're jumping at center against much bigger guys, because Dennis isn't even jumping at center. He was always you.
It was always him.
Yeah. I was an athlete, and I loved that. Dennis was like, you jumped this. Yeah. Dennis was being his mood, and I said, I got it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, like I said, we took out to each other, you know, we talked it through, and that's how you get through a lot of things, you know. If you're not feeling good that day, you know, I've done that all my career. I say, hey, take this guy for a couple minutes, give him a rest. I got him. You know, we used to tag team with Francois and in the PBA, you know, a 1-2 punch, and he didn't know where it was coming from. So yeah, but I still have that picture, you know, in my archive, and I look at it all the time, and those were really special moments.
Jeff, I asked this question of Dennis when he also guested on our show. What was your first impression of Chip Engeland when he first joined NCC?
I know what little skinny white boy. Well, how he gonna help us? You know, that was Dennis' first impression. No, but for me, I never judge a book by its cover. You know, I just said, "Hey, what's up, Chip? How you doing?" Hadn't heard of him. You know, coming out of California, supposed to have been a shooter. You know, I wasn't big at following basketball. You know, the magazine Who's Who. You know, it really didn't matter to me. That's why I think it probably helped me because I just did what I knew I could do, and I did. I practiced hard enough to whatever was coming my way. I can't do anymore. I'm ready or I'm not ready. So I didn't have to prepare for anybody. And then once I saw Chip shooting around, you know, me and Jake was talking. And he said, "Yeah, Jeff, this guy can shoot." He said he's gonna take some pressure off you. You know, free you up to, you know, be the slash and do everything. Free for Dennis to go one-on-one. If they want to double him, they kick it out to Chip. And he started shooting. And of course, you know, he's got a Jerry West jump shot. I mean, it's just a perfect jump shot, you know. My son had that jump shot. And I was like, oh, perfect rotation, perfect, you know. And so, but he's a real shooter. But then when he was off, Dennis would let him know because a pure shooter, they'll make 15, but on that day they're off. They missed them first 15. They're not going to stop shooting now. You're going to have to take them out or not give it to them. So that's their mentality. You're going to keep shooting. So, you know, they know how to manage him. So, you know, he misses 3, 4 in a row, okay. Depends on how he missed them. You know, you can tell if it's barely missed it was just off. But when the shooter's off, his shot is all over the place, and you know it. So you give him a break, give him a breather, let him sit down and relax, and then put him back in. And you know, they came through in the William Jones stuff. Because Dennis and myself I was hurt sick a little bit. Dennis had that swollen ankle, and we were limited in what we can do. But yeah, we're fighters and warriors. We're still going to be out there. That's what Jake knew. We weren't going to give up. Anybody else would have said, "Coach, I can't play," you know. But that's when I say I gave my heart and soul to the Philippines, Dennis and I. That's what I'm talking about. Her, we're going to be doing what we can. We didn't have the ego because I can't be at my best that I need to score 20. So I'm gonna bail out. No, if I score 1 point to help this team win, just my presence, that's what I was gonna do.
Speaking of shooters, speaking of shooters, this is one of the greatest who ever played in the PBA, Ricky Brown. What do you remember about him?
Ricky was I don't know what to think about Ricky. His personality he was like me and Dennis used to call him the secret agent. So he would never tell you what he's doing or where you're going. You know, it was always secretive. Hey, come here, can I talk to you? You know, pull you to the side. But his game on the court, Ricky, yeah, I played against him at Pepperdine, so he knew me. I knew him. You know, he had that Puerto Rican game from New York, you know. Strong little point guard, get a shot off fast against taller people. You know, like you say again, just a real shooter. He would light it up. You know, and you wouldn't think he wasn't fast. He, you know, didn't jump high. He wasn't tall. So, you know, how do you get these shots off against, you know, bigger defenders, bigger people? Because he thought about it and worked on it. And he had it down to a science. All I got to do is get it off before you get there, and that's it. He had one of the quickest release that I've seen in a lifetime. And that was his key. He had to get it off quick. You know, he had to get it off, and he did. He made a quick move, and that ball was gone up in the air. and most of the time it was there.
I'm looking. I see Willie Pearson at the back behind you. So
Yeah,
this was the original,
yeah,
1981, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But the one on the right is about 1984
Yeah.
already. Yeah, great. Because Ricky's great taste, and then Jeff's with Northern.
I'd like to ask. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yeah,
I'd like to ask. What were you?
Stuff, wasn't
Go
it?
ahead.
Because we got that Ware back there. You got Bruce Collins was his name. Yeah, Ben Lindsay's in that early in that. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think
Jeff?
that year too.
Jay.
Let's go back to 1983. No, you played in the ABC tournament, and there was controversy there because the Philippines, the two games that you played for the Philippines were forfeited. What were your memories about that particular tournament?
Where were we in again? We were in where?
The 1983 ABC tournament in Hong Kong. You played 2 games there. The winner of that tournament would go on and represent Asia in the LA Olympics. But after 2 games where you play, both games were forfeited because you were disallowed, because you were ineligible. What are your memories about that particular tournament in Hong Kong?
Yeah, well, it was just a passing thing. Like I said, the hype was, you started to hear the rumors because we were making a name for ourselves, outside of the Asian world. So, we were making a big mess in the Asian world. China was having the protest, whoever we played, because they were nervous. They knew it was going to be a different story. And with Steven and all of that, like I said, and like I said, the boss knew it. He could have contested it and held it up for years, or for months until they made us a decision, and it might have actually came down in our favor. Like I said, he's got the right to put naturalized citizens on the team, and if it's by president or bloodline, it wasn't really clear what a naturalized citizen was. So, I guess we bailed out, and that was a disappointment for us, after training so much. But we were pleased just to be there, and we were definitely ready. You look at that team, any Asian team, no, they didn't have a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of national team, that's Naning Valenciano, right?
Yeah.
And you,
Jong,
Tonichi,
Teddy Alvarez. Who are the other two?
Dennis and Jeff, right?
Dennis.
No,
Johnny Nash and Hedgewood. They were from Johnny Nash played at Arizona State, and Hedgewood played at the University of San Francisco. So they brought them in. They were trying out to see what was going on. What tournament was that? Do you guys remember? Because I don't remember.
Coach Jong is still there, so this could probably be
83, 84.
83 or 84.
That's right. Maybe the ABC.
Yeah, maybe that's the ABC. Yeah.
In Brunei. It might have been the tournament in Brunei. I'm not sure which one that was. Those two were part of the national team.
Yeah,
because it
I don't remember those two guys on the right. So
yeah, because it wasn't what was it? A sanctioned Olympic style event, because I don't think those two played with us in anything that mattered as far as us being a team. It might have been an exhibition game somewhere or a tournament where, but it had nothing to do with our run to playing in the World Game, qualifying here or there. So those two guys they weren't on any of those teams.
Yeah, that's right.
But it must have been some important tournament because you guys were all dressed, alike, and you had that patch, right? You had a patch of the Philippine flag. So
we were traveling first class, representing the Philippines for sure.
Is that Johnny Hegwood?
Who was Johnny Nash and Hedward? Who's
Hegwood?
that?
Yeah.
Is that
Edward, yeah.
Hegwood, the one that rightmost?
Yeah, to the right. Yeah, that's John Hedward. Y'all don't remember whether I don't know. Were you born, Charlie?
This may be in Hong Kong. This may be in Hong Kong. The ABC tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, this might be Hong Kong. I'm not, can't say for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that time. But Hegwood, he would shoot them high arc shots. He was a left-hander. I mean, he would just shoot it to the moon, and that was his shot, especially underneath the basket, and it would go in. He had a weird shooting style. Johnny Nash, could do everything. He was supposed to be the Magic Johnson when he went to Arizona State. And I was at Loyola, so I knew Johnny coming over. And then broke his ankle the first day. My high school coach took us down there to watch him. He was at Arizona State for the first time. It was a game opener, and we're walking in, got there a little late from Tucson. It was in Phoenix. And we're walking down the stairs going to our seats. And I'm looking at the court. He goes up for a simple rebound, comes down, boom, pops out of the side of his ankle.
Wow.
I mean, around, I mean, he would step on anybody's foot or anything, but when he came down, it just snapped in the middle of his leg, where his calf is. And so that set him, that's what I'm saying. And he was, destined to make the NBA, because he had all the skills. He was about 6'6", 6'7", big guard that can shoot. Magic style that comes from both from one end to the other, flashy passes. And so when I saw him there, he had recuperated and he was playing well, but he wasn't the same guy, that Arizona State was expecting. So.
Yeah. So you remember, Jeff, you remember a lot of your teammates, of course, all the guys that played on that entity, whether they were from America or the locals. How about in the PBA? Do you remember, were there certain players on the opposing team that you remember stood out for you? And then, that you would be tough. You had to play tough to challenge them. I'm sure you remember Robert Jaworski. You know what happened. Who else do you remember from the locals?
Yeah. Ferdinand, Fran, the skinny post guy. What's her name?
Juan Fernandez? Ramon Fernandez.
Yeah. Right, Ramon Fernandez. Like I said, by face I remember a lot of, but the names they escape me these days. Because I do go back and I watch a lot of the videos, the finals and what have you of where we played. But yeah, I really couldn't tell you a lot of their names, but I know them per se, and I definitely remember. But there was a guard and a player on each team. They gave us fits, but I say that like we were supposed to be the winners, but no, we gave them fits, because we were the amateurs, but we gave them fits and actually beat them. But yeah, they made us better, using their experience to help us. Like I said, Ron Jacobs, to this day, like I say, I still mimic myself after him and how I get my teams prepared. I put them in some of the toughest tournaments. If we lose, that's fine, but I want to play in tournaments that's going to challenge us. Get beat by 40, now I have a reason to say this is why we go back to work. If we win, we still got work to do, because it's a consistency. You got to stay at the top of your game. So we were taught, like I say, and that's why that team, all those teams that we're on in the Philippines, we were groomed and mentally challenged to win. You know, we practice it 3 times a day for 6 months. Morning, lift weights, you know, shoot around, go over drills in the morning, lift weights in the afternoon, then we have a scrimmage game, you know, and we had to go hard. It wasn't no taking a day off. And in Manila with all that sweating, wow, man, you're killing us. But we're in the best shape of my career ever, you know. I mean, I could run rings around anybody. I could run all day, hard, play defense all day, go to 2 overtimes, and then skip a beat. That's how we beat the United States in the Williams Jones Cup when we made that.
Right. Jeff, do you remember that game? I'm sure you remember Robert Jaworski, the playing coach of Ginebra. Do you remember that game where you accidentally elbowed him in the face, and you know blood came out, and he had to be rushed to the hospital? Then he came, and you guys were up big, and then he came back like Willis Reed, and he inspired Ginebra to that win over you guys. Remember that particular game?
Of course, I cannot forget that. The never say die moment, but yeah, I remember, like I said, but those were great moments. Like I said, because he was revered, you know, we knew it, you know, that's all they talked about, you know, he was the guy. So we knew who he was, and when I got him, I knew what was going to happen. You know, I really did, because you know I didn't get him on purpose, but it wasn't even a matter, you know. But he took it well, but everything changed after that, you know. I think it put a fear in the whole gym. You know, because they didn't know how he was going to respond. You know, he might have came back and stabbed me in the back. I don't know. But they knew he was going to come back and get some kind of revenge. So everybody was waiting for that. But he had enough respect for me. He did. He came back. But with that fear in everybody, the game changed, you know. So they're looking for something to happen for him to foul me hard or foul them hard. So that changed the game. So we got complacent in that moment. If you remember, breakaway, I told Dennis this. I got a breakaway still, and at the corner of my eye, I see him coming. You guys know me. Any day of the week, I'm dunking on him. I don't care who. Boy, he come running full speed. I just take me out. So I jumped. He barely put his hands on me, and I threw it up off the rim. I'm lucky I got the foul, because it really wasn't a foul, because he barely touched me. But even the ref thought he was going to get me hard, you know. And that was the first time I kind of gave in, you know. It was like, no, this guy, I don't know. I've heard a lot of stories about him. He was coming to get me. He's trying, you know. So I kind of blew the layup, but got the foul call. So, you know, that saved me. So I made my 2 free throws. But that was the only time, you know, a guy coming at me like that made me think about, you know, the consequences as I went up in there. So
Yeah.
That's the mistake of Jaworski, yeah.
Yeah.
But Jeff, how did the PBA experience, your free conferences playing in the PBA, help you as far as dealing with the hostilities in the ABC tournament? Like this one was held in Kuala Lumpur. You had to go up against China. Obviously, fans were not really were cheering for the Chinese in the finals. How did that help you?
Right, because of those type of moments, we become like saying, you saw after over a season, we became the players, you know, in the PBA. Yeah, we were knocking them down just as well as they. So we didn't back up. We came at them just as hard as they did. Allen, I could say I see videos where, you know, they came at us. Hector wasn't backing down. You know, Tanichi wasn't even back after we got a good grip on our making them have respect for us, you know? And so that part of it helped us to become men against kids. Because wasn't no national team playing like that, you know? we played as a national team, executing, doing those things like other national teams play. So we can match any with that, with our offensive skills and playing as a team. But that brought us to I don't care. Each national team might have a bully, but we weren't going to let nobody bully us as a team. And that's what the people saw in us. I guarantee you, those are the reasons why we won. Because, you know, any day of the week, the national teams, you know, the older vets come in, and, you know, some of these national teams, you know, it's life or death if they win. So they start banging us and, you know, pushing us, thinking we were going to back off. But we went right back at them. We gave us, we took as good as we gave, you know. We went back at them, and we had skills to do it and play. See, that was the test. We could manage our control under tough, you know, because of the PBA. Because every night it was a tough circumstance. I don't care who we played. Whether we're up 15 or down 10, them guys were men trying to get their paycheck.
Yep. Yeah. And you guys just fought through that. I'm wondering, Jay, which tournament is this? Because you have Dindo Pumaren, Jericho Dinieras there already.
After part, this was 85 already.
Yeah, this must have been 85.
Maybe the SEA Games. I'm not sure. Maybe the SEA Games. 85 SEA Games.
Southeast Asian Games, probably.
Yeah. That was
I never knew that Dindo played with these guys.
Dindo did. At the end, Alvin Teng, Dindo Pumaren, Jericho Diniera, Jeffrey Graves, Al Solis. Yeah, they came in at the end. Daning Valenciano, that's towards the end.
Yeah, that was down the end. That turned the page. You know, Alf is in there. There was some tournament. Was it a tournament in Brunei? Because like I said, we're going everywhere playing and doing this little ride of ours. But yeah, once Allen got there, we were down to we were close to the end at that point. Those are the guys that finished off the ESM boy, Davis and Kylie, Elmer, Nick Chin. Yeah, that was it. That was the final stretch there. Yeah,
Jeff, I just need to ask you, on the individual talent level, who impressed you more, Allen or Samboy?
Different positions. You know, Samboy, you know, he's doing things that nobody in the world can do the way he to the floor shooting a jump shot. I'm like, falling back, this guy, I mean, wow, that was impressive. And that's what threw Americans off. You know, he would kick you and fall back and it'd be all net or off the back. You know, he had a game that you cannot teach, and you try not to teach it that way. That was the thing, but there was a natural instinct that he had. I don't know where, like I say, those are things that are just in you. You know, some people have an IQ about the game. I did it in every country. You know, I have it, you know, but I actually had it and I did the work of the basic stuff as well. But they see the game in a different light, the angle different light, you know, because he went in there and he would go into that rim and throw it up backwards without looking, and it would go in, and that's like, wow. And you thought the first time he might have did it, okay, that's a lucky shot. But then that's a shot he actually trying to do, you know?
And what about Allen?
They called him the Skywalker. That's why they called him Skywalker.
He would hang in there until you come down, and then he'll get it off, and he wouldn't really fall on the ground. That was the other amazing part. The trigger man, you know, he like I say, he was just a straight trigger man. You know, he was always ready to shoot. He was born to shoot that ball. You know, left-handed, that throws you off, so that was another advantage. And the way we trained, you know, Ron Jacobs and everybody, we got it right. We trained with confidence, you know, and we trained with defense coming at you, getting you prepared for that guy running at you, and you only got a second to get it off. You know, that's what I do a lot of. And it's like NBA. I used to say, if he doesn't block it, it's good. I'm going to wait to the last second. I'm not going to panic. And that's the way, he was groomed, and that's how he understood the game, because I remember all of those guys, they didn't start out like that. Like I say, it was a process, and that's why Jake had the whereabouts to put us in the NBA Summer League when we went down there, and to bring in all these teams, with all Americans. So those guys can get used to, 6'9" guys jumping at them, athletic, blocking their shot, knocking them down, which happened, always a piece of cake, and so they learned watching me and Dennis, like I say, that was our mission. We were over there playing, but we were also over there teaching. They learned as playing with them how to play the game, but us correcting them when they make a mistake here and there on the defensive coverage, or even on the offense, what they should have did or what they shouldn't have did. Might have passed it to me and said, that one you shouldn't have passed it. Should have faked it to me and kept going, because he got it so. Thinking that they had to give it to me like the import. No, this is not that. This is team basketball. You make the right pass when you're supposed to make the right pass. You don't give it to me so I can score 40 points just because. No, this is what Jake was all about, and then that's why Dennis a perfect fit for that team. Because if you had somebody over there that was all about their points, it never would have been the same. Yeah. Dennis was the best team player, unselfish guy in the world. I scored a lot of points, but I was unselfish. Like I say, Jake had to force me to keep shooting because I would pass on the dime, to whoever's open. Pass up my shot for them, Chip was a shooter too, just like him and Kai did. So if you pass to them, you might as well say he's shooting that sucker.
Go get the rebound, right?
Yeah, go get the rebound. But every now and then they would pass because when they were off, we taught them how to be winners. Like say, you're off, well, just keep shooting. When you go up in the air, you see me cut into that basket. Don't always think I'm going to make that shot, especially when you're having an off day. So, every now and then they would drop it in. And it'd be at the perfect moment. It'd be like, wow, okay, he gets it. Because I want him to shoot because he's such a good shooter. But if you're not on it, drop it down to help this team win. We even got both of them to come back and play defense. So Chip used to Dennis used to get so mad at Chip for running out, The shot goes up, me and Dennis and everybody down there fighting for a rebound. As soon as we get it, Chip's at half court yelling. And he's like, no. He'd be like, Chip, don't throw it to him. They can come back and play defense. Hey, because it might have been a long rebound and he's from there. So, and we did. We talked to him and explained it to him that way. Like, because 3 times it was a long rebound, so they got another chance and they made the shot. So we all played together and we helped one another. It was a family. And that's what hurt me so bad that it took 38 years for me to go back and see all those guys, and a couple of them in that picture aren't living anymore. And I really, really felt that friendship and our bond was like no other. Really, that's a real storybook in it. That's the make of a movie. Really, if somebody really documented, that is a movie in the making because we had it all, from the 12 Americans, from them going to pick Jake for the first of all, then bringing Dennis and I coming in there, then we, going and looking for talent after the first year, the protests and all of that, all the way to the end, where the president having the lead, we having the lead. It's a story worth telling, to tell you the truth. And all the little things.
Definitely.
Hong Kong. Definitely. That's one for the history book. A teachable moment, to tell you the truth. How you come together as
guys had a great run, Jeff. What a run it was! But as you know, we've talked about it. It suddenly came to an end simply because of the political change here in the country, and the basketball team for some reason got affected by that, which is crazy for me. But so you guys, the team was blown up. You never got to come back. As you said, you left your things here, didn't even get them back anymore, and you had to move on. Obviously, how long did it take you to say, "Hey, I got to do something"? So eventually, you went to South America, I think, and then eventually to Mexico to move on with your career. So what happened to you after that? I mean, did anybody ever call you to come back for as an import for any NBA PBA team?
No, I mean that's why I said it was the perfect storm. I mean, in the sense that it didn't take Dennis and I long to go and get a job. Hell, we were qualified players. Hell, so anybody in the country wanted us. So that's why they had an excuse not to call us or say they called us, but Just Man in Argentina. Dennis is down there, you know. So that gave the politicians or the higher ups in the organization a pass to say, oh, well, no, Jeff's over there. You know, we tried to call him, whether they did or not, but I never received a call. Because you got to understand, we're at the top of our game, so it didn't take me long. I came back, and they had a 6'5" and under league. I went and played in that. They had just started that, for 6'6" and under, like the Philippines had. I went to a tryout. There was 200 people there, and all these big time college kids. And I've been gone for 8 years, so nobody really knew who the hell I was. And I've been seeing these guys on magazines, the top of the notch. That's probably going NBA. And I had to go through a tryout. This team was in Fresno, California. Jay called me, Jim White, and said, "You want to go down here and have a tryout?" And I said, "Sure." So every day it was cut in half, So I'm lasting, these names I've heard of, from these big time schools. So, we get down, but then we're down to probably 30. And so next day it was only going to be down to 15. So we're doing a defensive drill now. So I get out there, where everybody's going, people were in front of me. And it was my turn up, so you're supposed to deny the ball, and if he backdoor, you're supposed to recover and don't let him get that either, So there was a decent American black guy, can't remember his name right now, but he was NBA bound, so I just happened to went through mine, and when I turned around, it's my turn to get on defense, I see him, so it's like, okay, let's play. I'm defense. I grew up playing defense. Hell, I played against some of the best offensive players in the world. So that was just what I do. He didn't know that, So we start, and he's trying to get the ball, and he's taking me out, trying to, get the ball. The assistant coach throws it. I get a hand on it. It goes out of bounds. He does it again, and now he's trying to push and get away, and somehow I get it again. So he backdoored me, and I get that one. And the coach finally said, he said, okay, stop. So I'm thinking I did something wrong because he knew all these players from the CBA. That was the league, like the G League now. So they're all in the CBA. And so I'm waiting for what he's talking about. And he's coming towards me, and I'm trying to figure out, did I do something wrong? Did I have my head not turned quick enough on the back door? And he grabbed me, by the shoulder, and he said, "This is how you're going to make this team." He said, "Defense." He said, "Defense wins championships." He said, "This guy knows how to play defense. That's what I'm looking for." So, made me feel good. Everybody's looking at me, they kind of clapped and stuff, but clapping meaning that, my job may not be, I might not get that job if that's what they're looking for. And at the end of the day, I did get the job out of 200 people because the scoring was easy. I mean, I always say that to my players. Scoring is easy. You can learn to score. Defense is desire, heart. That's a winning attitude. You want to win when you just want to get rebounds and play defense. And that's what Dennis and I both brought there. And we could score, but the defense is what kept us there. Because like Jake said, there was a lot more talented guys they were looking at when we were trying out everybody offensively, you know, because I could score, but I wasn't just a straight scorer. But I could stop people. So, you know, he told the boss, yeah, there's some people here that's probably better offensively than these two. But no, you won't get a better teammate, unselfishness, and give 100% than Jeff Moore and Dennis Steele. And so that's how we end there. But the road was long and hard. Those two teams right there, that was in that was the All-Star game on the left side when I came to Mexico. And on the right, that was when I played on the South League in Mexico. I was actually on an island, Isla de Mujeres. So, you know, I had a paid job to be on the island, you know, so I enjoyed my life, played hard, you know. I was, for 10 years, my first 10 years in Mexican basketball. That's why I told you I was above everybody coming from the Philippines. Mm-hmm. I was in every fight in the first 10 years. I mean, the first 9 years. You know, every finals with 6 different teams. I could win. I had to win and I had to. My first year, I'm throwing up 40, 50, 60. Because nobody could do anything with me because I come from the Philippines where I had to do everything. National team got me prepared, had the skills, and then the toughness that the PBA got me, nobody else could touch me. They used to call me, because they were fouling me a lot in Mexico. But I was getting a foul in one. It wasn't nothing like me knocking falling on my head in the Philippines. They thought they were hitting me hard, but that wasn't nothing to me. I get the foul and the bucket. So yeah, the Philippines helped me a hell of a lot to travel the world and expose who I am and what I could do. They really prepared me for the rest of the world.
Well, you had crazy stats when you were in the PBA. You can see below it says you played 102 games, 24.2 points per game, almost 16 boards, 4 offensive, 3 assists, almost 2 blocks, 38 minutes on 60% shooting almost from the field and 76% almost from the free throw line. So you're saying that this just backs up what you just said. You did everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, but if you read it right, that's at 50%. What was the shooting percentage?
59.7.
Yeah, from the field. I mean, that's just intelligence. I didn't take bad shots.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's what I used to do all my life. I didn't take bad shots. And I got a lot of my shots from kicking. You know, me and American had a problem with that 1 year. He was like, oh, you and, you know, the other guy's name was Al Smith. He's like, y'all shooting all the shots, you know. And he had played with New York Knicks for a little bit, you know. He's a big man, 6'9", Kenny Green. And I said, Kenny, I'm not shooting as much as you. He said, yes, y'all ain't passing it to me. I said, Kenny, let's go to the scoreboard. The score sheet. You know, he had 20 shots. I had 17. I got mine from the free throw line, you know. And I got mine from shots he shot, and I got rebound and put it back up. So I didn't shoot all these shots. See, I played the complete game, so they got confused on what it was. And those numbers really showed. But that was all my career. I did it all, you know. And I loved doing it. That was the key. I loved helping other people get, you know, being there to recover them. I didn't blame anybody, so that was it. That picture right there, that was in Mazatlan. I'm an assistant coach there. And look like I'm saying farewell, but no. I got my fingers up.
But the more important thing, the thing that Jay wants to know is, did you meet those 2 ladies in red?
No, I didn't. I knew them. No, that was not a special rah-rah girl, but no, I was all business. You know, I was older then, so I'm just coming through there, giving them a championship. See, I did that from the assistant coaching job. See, I do have skills. I hate Philippines. They never call me, man. I got skills as a coach. On Jacobs, he goes, really? No. I got a knack for reading the game exactly how it is, when you take this guy out, how you defend this guy, what kind of setup we go out. And I guarantee you, most of the time it works. You know, I'm very, very good at that. And that's another gift I had that I never had a chance to use in the Philippines. Not just that great player. I'm locked in on because, like I say, I'm a psychologist by nature. I read what's going on, how we got this guy, what we got to do, how we gonna get him frustrated. But then that's a story for another chapter.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and maybe that's an advertisement right there. What you just said. So we're gonna spread the word about that coaching thing, Jeff. Let's see if anything can come out of that. But let's look at the next photo, Carly. I know it's a special one. This is just recently for everyone's information. Jeff was here for the FIBA World Cup. So he was able to meet with old friends like Norman Black and Jongwi Chico. And of course, you flew to Hawaii to meet that guy in the cap. His name's Willie Pearson. He was our guest also a couple of years ago on the show. And so tell us about that experience of coming back after so long and seeing all the guys, Jeff.
Yeah, just on the plane itself, you know, because I had taken that trip, you know, at least 2-3 times a year when I was there. You know, we would come home every now and then, and it just gave me goosebumps, you know. And the closer we got, and you know, just moments of reflection. Once we start flying over the land, and I'm trying to look and see of places, you know, if I can identify a building or something. But I couldn't. I was just looking at it. I was like, wow, it looks different than before. Amazing. And then I find out I'm going to a different airport. You know, I said, this ain't where I used to take off from. But yeah, it was just a whole body of emotions going through, and thinking about all the good times we've had. And once we landed and got off, you know, we're in the latest airport that they built, you know, brand new to me, and you know, up to date. And so everything was different, but then it was the same. Once we got into you guys helped pick me up, so you know, once we got into the truck, then I started asking questions, you know, where did we live before? Is this was the area? And some stuff started to become familiarized, but it was just so much that I couldn't take it all in. I was in places where before they said, yeah, this is so-and-so Boulevard, you know, this little city. And I knew it back then, but nothing like I remembered it. And even where they played, I couldn't believe that was the dome where they fought the Thriller in Manila.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he said, we got out and walked, you know, a block, and we went into a mall, and he said, you're in it. And I said, what? I said, no, that can't be that big spaceship out there that we used to drive to and we could see for miles away. He said, yes, this is it. I'm like, man, no, it was, once I got in it, I could see, yeah, they changed the seat, but that was it. Wow, that was something else, really. That blew me out the water. I mean, we shed a lot of tears, you know, sweat and tears, and just going at it, boy. That's when we first started. And like I was telling somebody, the guys that picked me up, I said that was before Ultra. You know, Ultra. Yeah, y'all got 4 or 5 news. I said that was before Ultra. That was the one. You know, I was here before they even started building Ultra. You know, that was a new one for us, but wow, there was something. There was something to behold, and run across a couple people that remember me, so that was the special moment. And that there, that's priceless. It really is. You know, all those guys there. You know, I left them last. I was 28 years old. 28.
38.
28 years old.
28.
Yeah, and Tanika was probably about 22 or something like that.
And then you see all these guys, and then you got to reconnect with Heck and Franz and Tonichi. You know, those are the guys. Jong, of course. We remember I took that photo of you guys at one of the games for Gilas Pilipinas. And and then Chip. How was Chip after all these years?
Pardon me?
How was Chip after all these years?
Oh, well, Chip I've seen. So, yeah, Chip is Chip, as they used to call him, Dookie.
Duke man. Yeah.
Dookie.
But yeah, you know, I hadn't seen them in a couple years, because especially since he went to OKC. So, you know, it's always to see Chip. You know, he always, with the utmost respect, you know, being in the NBA and all that, we are friends, you know, and that's how he treats me. It doesn't matter who's he in front of, you know, or who's he with. You know, that's a real friend, and that's what I'm saying. He just, you know, gives me my due respect because of what we've done, you know. Like I say, you don't forget the past, you know. The future, the present, sometimes we kind of forget the past, and the past is what got us to the future. And then that group there, you know, allowed all of us to go off and do some special things. See, I went around the world and did what they were doing there, you know, and I wish I would have had that option to be able to have done what I did with the people that knew me best in my career, you know. So it was a real special moment. And the little young man in the middle from the boss's sidekick from NCC, he was the money man every time. Briefcase boy, we were happy to see him. Yes, sir.
Jeff, must have been a really fun night.
Jeff, when you saw these guys, did you actually not recognize at least one or two of them because they changed significantly?
That I didn't recognize?
Yeah? Was there anybody here who you didn't recognize?
No, not that group right there. No, I knew them. Yeah, like I say, the names, you know, I could forget. I'll never forget a face, but I know I knew them and they were close to me. It wasn't like I just might have forget how to say his name or whatever. All right. But all of them, yeah, that was the crew. Little bitty ass Hector, look at him.
Yeah. Well, he looks the same. He looks the same except for the white hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at Jerry.
Oh, Jerry, yeah, he still look like a little chubby Jerry. He always was. But John, he always gray hair. John, I'm like, dude, you look like you got. But yeah, and then for us to sit around, you know, you remember him doing dinner and in different groups, just joking about the past, you know. And truly, that was amazing. You know, it was only we knew, you know, at the time, and we experienced those. So it was always, and I just don't want it to be another. Well, it ain't gonna be another 30 years. I guarantee you that. 38 years before I see you guys.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, 38. It ain't gonna be 8 years. I guarantee you. But hopefully we talked about maybe 2025, them coming out here in the Puerto Vallarta, you know, take a change, get away from there, and meet down here, you know, and do that. And that would be awesome. And if they could come down here, take them a vacation, you know, and I show them around somewhere different and new, and where I kind of made my mark after that. That was the first. And this was the last, and there was many more in between. So that was the first long one, the last one I stayed at. So they know me as I came from there and ended my career. They know me in the Philippines as I began my career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know you as
Yeah.
one of the best. We know you as one of the best who ever played for the Philippine team,
Exactly.
Jeff. And what a career you had, even in the PBA. You won that championship, and all those glory tournaments. You win those medals for us. And we're forever
Yeah.
thankful to you for that. So I want to let you know that I'm saying it here on the show, Jeff. I said this to you when we were together, but we thank you for your service,
Yes.
definitely for the national
Mhm.
team. We hate how it ended. We do. We really do. But yeah, that's life. As you said, you moved on, and now you're busy there in Mexico. You're holding basketball clinics. You're coaching kids, working with young people. I hope your player. You said a player of yours got injured the other night. I hope he's okay. So so we wish you the best in all of that. And then we did make a call for support for you. So hopefully some guys respond to that, and we're gonna let you know to support your program over there in Mexico, Jeff.
Freeze.
Oh,
It
did
freezes, Jeff.
Mm.
Yeah. No, he'll be back. He'll be back. Okay, yan. The connection will be there. But I'm
Sino
looking at this
tong-
picture.
Yeah,
Yung
sino tong
pinaka...
Chi Pineda ba yan?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think that's Pineda. Yeah. And then the guy on the... Coach Tonichi is the one who looks the most the same from before.
Yeah.
Siya talaga Coach Tonichi.
Yeah.
Di ba? Kasi yung iba medyo nag-gain ng weight na. Peter, Alan, di ba?
Mm.
Tapos kahit papaano, si Coach Franz medyo bagets pa rin. Pero si Tonichi, parang ganun pa rin Sakto pa rin yung katawan niya no? Di ba? Ano nangyari kaya kay Jeff? Talagang nag-freeze na siya, no?
yeah.
Kung kailan tayo patapos na. But I'm pretty sure he'll come back in. But what a great session we've had. Obviously, we talked to here members, never say die.
Yeah.
Which is something we wanted to ask. There's some other questions on the comment box. We haven't been able to ask them. We're not sure if we'll be able to, but we'll try to do that. Even out of the show, we'll try to answer your questions that
And
you have.
former teammate Ricky Relos is actually watching.
Yeah. Si Ricky Relosa was watching, and some other guys. Aldo Perez, thanks to Robert Viola. Hey guys, just a call, no? So as we always say, send us some stars. That was a time capsule, that's a time capsule that was brought to us by Fitbit, and that helps everyone in the world get healthier, from counting our steps to giving personalized insights on your heart rate and sleep patterns. Log your exercise, access great tools and content on the Fitbit Premium, all on the Fitbit platform. Check out the line of products on fitbit.com. Feel the power. Time capsule po yan. At sana papasok na tayo sa Twilight Zone. Ngunit wala yung ating guest right now. He's trying to reconnect. He'll be in a bit. But, there were some questions. There's a nice question kanina about bakit si Dennis Steele, bakit hindi si Steve Scholl, bakit hindi si Lingerfelter, 7-footer. And then we'd love to ask Ron Jacobs why that happened. Of course, Coach Ron's no longer with us. But yeah, I guess, as Jeff said, they got the best players who could be team players
Exactly.
and fit the system. So if it was a 6'7" center instead of a 7-footer, that's probably the reason why, di ba? So yun, di ba?
I would have wanted to ask a speculative question, like how would the Philippine team do in the 1986 World Cup had they gone on to play there?
Well, I'll tell you already what he's gonna say. He's gonna say lalaban sila, di ba?
Yeah, I know.
Papalag sila. Diba? That's what Jeff, kasi warrior nga.
Talaga.
So just to reiterate, the statistics of Jeff Moore in the PBA. Tingnan mo naman yan. I didn't realize he played 102 games. That's a lot. I mean, ang haba na kay halos. We've had the 6-7 year veteran guests here on the show who didn't play 100 games.
Yeah.
Diba?
Four conferences.
Oh, kaya nga. So he played
each
every
conference
game.
they made it deep into the playoffs, including one championship.
That's right.
Imagine
that. So sana, we're just waiting for him to come back in so we can wrap up episode 200. Thanks everybody for supporting us for this many episodes. So this is the 200th episode. Thanks for all your support. We never would have guessed that we'd make it to where we are. We have a couple more episodes for this year, 2023. We'll take, of course, our Christmas break soon. But we'll be back in 2024 and we'll still continue the show. How often, we don't know. But, we might adjust the schedule. We'll see. But but in the meantime, let's think, send us stars. If you listen to us on Spotify, you can send us a 5-star rating or rate us, with 5 stars. Maraming salamat for that. Become our monthly supporter. And how can you do this, for $4.99 or 250 pesos? Well, what you can do is you can go to Spotify, click the description, scroll to the bottom, and click the link that says support this podcast. And then you can do that. The $4.99 or $4.99 rather, or 250 pesos. And we will love you forever if you do that. Become our monthly supporter. And Globally Balling Southeast Asia on Facebook, please follow that so you can see tidbits from all the different shows on the Globally Balling Network. So let's take this opportunity na rin to thank San Miguel Corporation for being our main sponsor. And then together with Tuminugan Farm, with Barrio Fiesta, and with Fitbit, of course. We thank PBA Archives and PH Sports Bureau sa lahat ng tulong nila for the photos and for the information that we give. And then batiin na rin natin yung mga nag-birthday in the past week na pamilya ng AEOB. Si Bernard Harris, ka-birthday ko yan, Onchi de la Cruz, Gil Cortez, Peter Naron, Ed Cordero, Paul Herrera, and of course, Prince Philip Cesar. Nag-birthday kahapon.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday sa ating mga kapamilya.
Thank you, Ed Cordero, for the magazines. Yeah.
So sino yung nasa cover nung sa harap?
Hindi importante yan. Yung importante na yung sports world.
Talaga?
Sino yan? Yan ba ang mga kinamamukha kasi? Okay.
Janet Bordon. Ito, sino to?
Sina Alahar. My favorite, Wendy Villarica.
Wendy Villarica, okay.
Yeah.
Hindi ko na naabutan yung mga yan.
Yelen Catral.
Yelen Catral, so what to say, yeah.
Dinah Dominguez.
Sino man yan?
Dinah Dominguez.
Dinah Dominguez. Okay, Dinah Dominguez. Okay.
I forgot
Sino
his name.
tennis player? Sino yung tennis player?
Iba ang
Marites De Hoya, I don't know her.
Iba ang thrust ng sports magazines noon.
Marites De Hoya.
Yeah, Tet
Sino yan?
Antiquera.
Tet Antiquera. Wow,
kinikilig na ngayon yung mga matatanda natin.
Okay. Sabi nila, gusto ingit sila. Sino yan?
Lorna, no, wait. Cecil Guevara, Chicas.
Chicas,
Kasama
okay.
ni Isabel Ribas at saka ni Wendy Villarica. And finally, I have Julian Fortich. Yan. Thank you, Ed Cordero, birthday boy, for the magazines.
Okay. Well, let's see. If he's coming back in, I'm going to message him right now.
Yeah.
Parang namatay. Naubos na ba ata battery niya?
Baka.
Ha? Di ba? So,
how long
ano
did
pa
he
bang
stay here, Charlie? When he was in Manila? 5 days na ba? 7 days? Parang ganun?
No, mga 10 days yata siya nandito. So he was able to watch. Jeff was able to watch a couple of Gilas games and a couple of US games at the FIBA World Cup.
Yeah, he was still here during the knockout stages in Moa Arena. I saw him there. I can't remember if it was quarterfinals. Probably was quarterfinals. I still saw him there.
Okay. Haba ng biyahe niya. Via Hawaii siya, no?
He purposely went there yata to see...
To visit Willie Pearson eh. Willie Pearson, binisita ka. Nakita natin ng photo nga kanina. So, naantayin natin siya bumalik. Minessage ko na rin siya. Diba? In the meantime, kwento-kwento muna. Just for a couple of more minutes, let's see. No? Or else we can do the segments later on.
UAAP tomorrow, guys. NCAA finals also.
Yeah, so lots of basketball. PBA, of course. There's PBA games today. Yeah. I'll be there, and then tomorrow as well.
Okay. Back to back pala.
Yeah. So hindi tayo makakanood ng final.
Tomorrow supposedly LA Tenorio, our former guest, will be making his comeback.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow.
He's been reactivated. So that will be a big moment, no? For
also, Gil Cortez is reminding all the para may reunion ang Pampanga Dragons on December 7 in Pampanga, in San Fernando, Pampanga.
25th year
25th
of the first ever, the first ever NBA championship.
That's right. So
may tanong dito si Boss Guapo, may tanong, magka-champion na bang UP daw bukas? So, sagot namin sana. Dapat.
That's not
sige.
I don't want to jinx anything.
Okay.
Lang tayo.
Okay, so wait. I actually believe mukhang nagka-problema na si Jeff, ano? Tatawagan ko na lang, guys. Let's
we'll probably record yung
we'll just record the segments with Jeff. Say a proper goodbye also on a future date, no, if it's okay with you guys, kasi mukhang no response din sa mga messages so baka namatayan ng internet or something. So I guess we cut short, no, our episode 200. You know, we've had deals with some difficulties, like a fiesta going on in the background.
Yeah.
So, but siguro ipatuloy na natin. We will end this. It's not in the books yet, yung episode 200 namin. Kukumpletuhin namin ito, no? Para sa inyong lahat. Pero Jeff Moore, great stories. Nice, what a nice career he had dito sa Pilipinas. Pati na rin sa Mexico. He's like Hall of Famer yata siya doon. And, well, that's it. Siguro, no? Break na tayo. We'll see you guys next week. May guest pa tayo. We'll just finalize it. We'll announce it on our page for Jay Mercado and Sid Ventura. Charlie Cuna, signing off for episode 200. Thanks, guys, for sticking with us for 200 episodes.
Yeah.
Sana matuloy pa tayo. Don't know how far we're gonna reach, but we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep trying to keep the show on the air every week para sa inyong lahat. So, makita-kita po tayo. Maraming salamat sa Global
Jeff Moore.
Behind the scenes.
Thank you, Carla. Ayan.
Thank you, Carla.
So we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we can complete this episode as we did for Ompong Sigura. We'll do it for you guys. So thank you so much. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Ingat.
Thank you.
See you.
A leader in key sectors so vital to the growth of our nation. Food, beverage, packaging, infrastructure, energy, and power. Proudly Filipino, through our well-loved brands, we carry the flag overseas. Yet we've always held out for ourselves a larger purpose. To use our scale, size, and dynamism to deliver products and services that can unlock and accelerate new opportunities for growth and drive our economy forward. We are committed to contribute to a resilient and globally competitive Philippines, where businesses like San Miguel can use their resources and imagination to expand the economy and ensure that prosperity is widely shared. Today, our focus is on generating investments and projects that will enable our country to achieve its full promise. Malasakit is woven into all that we do, from ensuring that more Filipinos are food secure, have access to reliable, sustainable, and affordable energy, world-class roads, airports, mass transit, stronger communities, and greater economic opportunities. We are helping build the Philippines that can carry our 110 million strong population into a future whose defining challenges of our time will be an energy transition, resource scarcity, and the need for greater inclusiveness. As a company, we have set our sights on building the nation of our dreams. By leveraging our expertise, leadership, and reach, as San Miguel, we will do what it takes to build a better future for all Filipinos.